Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, that is big time stuff. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
What is going on, everybody? Excuse me. Big day today for the Detroit Lions. Say what's up when you're in here, and we will get this thing going. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed the Lions game. We won. So while I'm waiting for people to get in here, we'll go over a few things. But yes, welcome in, welcome in. It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. That means that it is time for Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I'm your host, Nick Harkson. How we doing today? How we doing? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Go Lions, says John Peterson. We got somebody in here. Love to see it. I'll wait for a few more people maybe if we got them. But if we don't, that's okay. We can still roll through with this. I record these. They are on the podcast over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything. If you want to listen to this afterwards, if you missed the episode and you just want to listen to the audio, go ahead and go over and listen to it there as well. But what's up, everybody? Hatter's House in the place. Yo, Josh Jackson, what's up, man? Let's go Lions. Let's go. One pride. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, let's talk a few things before we get into the huge news of the day, all the cuts. Yes, we will definitely be talking about the cuts for sure. That's the top story. But while we're waiting for people to get in here, the preseason game against the Steelers this Saturday just happened. The Lions did win 24-17. They started off real slow, looked sluggish, didn't look good at all. And then the Steelers kind of brought more backups in, and the Lions were able to get a little bit more comfortable and move the ball. Now, the Steelers did have a lot of first-teamers playing. Justin Fields played mainly at quarterback there for a while. And the Lions were mainly playing second, third, and people who aren't on the team anymore during that game. So I think that they did okay. Hendon Hooker was definitely struggling against a first-team defense or a better defense, but then settled in once the second team came in, started moving the ball a lot better. And James Houston as well started to settle in once that first team was off the field, earning the highest PFF grade from the game. Jake Bates had a notable miss from 30 yards out, which is negative. I am a supporter of Legatron, though. I hope that he gets his confidence back, and he's out there booting 70-yard field goals this year. And honestly, we know how Dan Campbell is. Are they really going to be kicking that many field goals compared to what other teams do? I don't know. Once we get close to the red zone, once we're in plus territory, once we're in the red zone, we like to go for it. So, yeah. Who knows how much we're really going to use Jake Bates this year, but he did miss a 30-yard field goal. But all right, here we go. We got some people in here. Let's talk it. Let's talk the cuts. They had a lot to do. They were at close to 80 players yesterday and got it down to 53. They have the roster. The roster's there. And we're going to go over it. Let's go over the initial cuts. And I want you guys in the comments. Hey, Mary Peterson, good to see you as well. Let me know in the comments who you thought the most surprising cut was from the Lions. But today, among many cuts, we had Matthew Betts, Doris Fountain, Nate Sudfeld, which I know a lot of people are probably happy about. I know that Derek is really happy. He posted a video of him singing that Nate Sudfeld sucks. So Nate Sudfeld is out, which I think is a good thing. I think that's the right move. They also cut Abram Beauplan and Stephen Gilmore today. Now, yesterday's and a lot more. We're going to get into it. But Scott Daly, Pat O'Connor, Ty Summers, Mitchell Agude, Brian Hudson, Rashad Wildgoose, Zonovan Knight, Now, this one did surprise me. Shane Zylstra. Shane Zylstra getting cut kind of threw me off a little bit. I thought he was definitely going to be the tight end 3 behind Brock Wright. I thought he played a better preseason than Mitchell. I thought that he, and Hess as well. But Hess is more of a fullback, or Hesse. I don't know how you pronounce it, but he's more like a fullback guy too. So they're going to use him there as well. But yeah, Shane Zylstra is gone. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Caden Davis, and then they place Emmanuel Mosley, Christian Mahogany. Well, Emmanuel Mosley and Broderick Martin are on the IR, and then Christian Mahogany is on the non-injured list. But let's get into this. 53-man roster is set for now, but it's only at 52. So there's one spot remaining. But this is actually, you know what? I see a few comments before we get into these. Our 52-man roster right now, where we have 53, we have one room to spare. I'm going to go over here to the comments, and Hatter's House says, I don't think any were surprised except maybe Zylstra, but not really. Okay, maybe you saw Zylstra coming. They don't really need him. I mean, he did have a big game for us a few years ago, 3 touchdowns in one game. And, I like the kid, what he brought to the team. Was that Dan Campbell mentality, but yeah, they just didn't see him sticking around this year. Josh Jackson says we almost need 2 kickers. Bates hits just about anything beyond 45. We need Badgley for the 45 and unders. Yeah, unfortunately, Badgley is injured and will be out for the season. But they could go and get what's his name, Riley Patterson. He's out there still. We've had him on the team a few times, cut him a few times. But I agree, we need a short yardage kicker. And then when it's time to hit those bombs, send in Legatron, because he is much better. He's almost automatic, like you said, from 45 plus. But he struggles closer. I think he's just too much in his head. He's thinking about it too much. When he's out there and he's got to kick the deep ball, he's just worried about how hard he's going to kick it. And he gets the job done. He's not really worried about his accuracy, I don't think. Or maybe he's just not thinking as much. But the shorter kicks, I think he's overthinking. I've been told by my grandfather in the past when playing sports to stop thinking so much and just go out there and play, and that's what Jake Bates needs to do. Shout out, Pops. Broski Bear, did Houston make the team? Houston did make the team. Houston did make the team, and we're going to get into that. Hatter's House, Zylstra could be a practice squad guy. Definitely. I see them bringing a lot of these guys that we cut back to the practice squad. Hopefully they pass waivers and get to us. There's a few in particular that I have in mind. But yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to go down. They pretty much have them listed from starter to reserve. And this is all courtesy of Justin Rogers on the Detroit Football Net. And we have at quarterback, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker. Running back, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki. At wide receiver, we only kept 4 wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, and my boy who made the team, the undrafted rookie free agent, Isaiah Williams, made the team. I love to see that. Isaiah Williams, I think, was the story of the offseason as far as players trying to make the team. You could argue bets and whatnot, but I really was hoping that Isaiah Williams was going to make this team. I think he can do a lot for us in, trick plays, return game if he can hold on to the ball, get him on an end around, get him a little screen pass, just put a few packages in there for him, and I think the kid will flash. But I'm really glad that Isaiah Williams made the team. Now, wide receiver, we only have 4. We only have 52 men listed right now on the roster. Are we going to go out and get another wide receiver? I think that's the move. I think that we're leaving a spot open to go and get somebody. And there are wide receivers available, which I will get into right after I go down the rest of this list. At tight end, they are keeping, of course, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and Parker Hesse. So they cut James Mitchell as well. So he didn't make it over Zylstra. Both of them are gone. Offensive line, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zeitler, Frank Ragnow, Dan Skipper, Colby Swordsdale, Coyote Awasika, Michael Neese, Giovanni Manu. All right, so Giovanni's on the team. Good. He's a rookie. He's a development. But let's go to the defensive side now. Here we go. At edge, I know there was a few people who wanted to see Betts make the team. They wanted to see the undrafted rookie free agent, Ukwu, I believe is his name. But he didn't make the team either. So Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, Josh Paschal, James Houston, and John Kaminsky still on the team. I do see them putting John Kaminsky on the IR here in the next few days. They have to do it if they want him to come back at all this season, and it'll free up another spot. So I see that happening for sure. They're going to put him on the IR. He'll miss a few games, but he'll be able to come back in the season if they put him on the IR now. Defensive tackle, we have Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, who's back, baby. They are expecting him to be back week 2, but maybe he'll be good enough to go week 1. We'll see. Levi Onwuzurike and Makai Wingo. So the rookie made it as well. Linebacker, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Jalen Reeves-Maben, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Ben Neiman. Cornerback, we have Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Ennis Rakestraw, Khalil Dorsey, and Kendall Vildor back on the squad. And at safety, we have Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Ifatu Melifonwu, Brandon Joseph, Lauren Strickland, kicker Jake Bakes, punter Jack Fox, long snapper Hayden Hatton. All right, so let's get into it. I see some comments going over here. How are you feeling about this initial 52-man roster? Because I know it's supposed to be 53, but they left a spot open. How are we feeling about it? Is there anyone that you would have rather seen on the team than somebody else? I know that there's some people out there who are not liking keeping Houston around. I think it was a good move. I don't know. Betts made a strong argument this offseason, but probably didn't have everything they were looking for. He is coming from the Canadian Football League, so it is a little bit different for sure. But, you know, he can make his way to the practice squad, make his way on another team. But, yeah, Houston making the team has ruffled a few feathers, even though I thought it was going to ruffle a few feathers if he didn't make the team. I think it's a two-way street there. You're either one side or the other. I'm all for it if he can produce sacks like he did his rookie year and stay healthy. Health is wealth. We talked about this last week. James Houston, just stay healthy, man. We need you. You're on the team now. Go out there and do work. But, yeah, let's get over here. Josh Jackson says Williams has a lot of potential for sure. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that it was strange that he didn't get drafted. He had such a good college career. He was putting up numbers. Maybe it was his size. I'm not sure what the reason why he wasn't drafted. There was a lot of wide receiver talent coming into this draft, but Isaiah Williams, he's a hidden gem. And I hope he works out for us in the way in the past where we find these guys who nobody else takes a chance on, but we do, and then they end up being beasts. But, yeah, Isaiah Williams, a lot of potential for sure. Hattersall says, I think we will get a wide receiver. I also do. And Josh Jackson says, Brad's probably eyeing up released wide receivers as we speak. We should be checking other teams for some surprise cuts. Yeah. Hattersall says, I think Houston finally shows out this year. Okay. I mean, he showed out his first year a little bit. The flashes, he didn't play as much, but he had some good games for sure. Helped us win some games with some sacks. And I hope he's back to that form. They did say he's just going to be rushing on the edge or setting the edge. He's going to be rushing the quarterback or setting the edge. That's going to be his key role. Go out there and do your job, and we're going to be just fine. Josh Jackson, we, as in us in the chat. Okay, I got you. Lady Lions, safer to have Houston here than on another North team. I agree. It would be a little revenge tour for him if we cut him. We'd probably have to see him, and he might get out there and get after Goff. But I don't know. Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell probably be locking him down at practice. Would probably lock him down during the game too. So there's that. But I do like Houston on our team. A lot of people don't. I think that he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to prove himself, like you said, Hatter's House. But let's get into some wide receiver talk. Now, there have been a lot of wide receivers getting cut who do have potential, who can fill that X receiver spot that we're looking for. And if you're not sure what the X receiver spot is, it's just a wide receiver that lines up on the opposite side of the tight end, who's normally on the line. They face a lot of press coverage. They're normally a bigger body wide receiver, have to get off that line. So these are notable wide receivers that I saw out there that I think that we could potentially go and get. I don't know about this first one as much. He used to be good. He never really had a good quarterback to really shine the way that he could have, and he's getting up there. But Allen Robinson got released from the Giants. He's a 6'3", 209-pound wide receiver, so he definitely fills that role. The Giants also let go of Isaiah Hodgins, who a lot of people liked when we were doing the joint practices, the preseason game against the Giants. He did well. Last year, he did well for the Giants as well. He was really one of the only threats for them at receiver. So we'll see. Maybe we'll make a move on him. I know that they liked him. Then you have the St. Brown brother. I can't pronounce his name. I'll just call him EQ St. Brown. But the Saints let him go, and he is 6'5", 214 pounds. Now, that's a big body wide receiver right there. And you're reuniting brothers. Is he good enough? I don't know. Do we need somebody that size to fill a role? Yes. Can he come over here, have a resurgence in his career? I think so with his brother. Will the podcast between him and his brother be as interesting? I don't know, because they're not going to be fighting. But I hope that the St. Brown brother, EQ St. Brown, finds a home somewhere, and maybe it'll be with the Lions. Then you got Terrace Marshall from the Panthers. They let go. He's 6'2", 201. And Noah Brown from the Texans, 6'2", 225. Out of all those guys, it's I would say Hodgins or Noah Brown for me. But it would be a really good story to have the St. Brown brother here with Amon-Ra. That would be, both parents could wear Lions. Everybody would be in Lions jerseys. You wouldn't see the dual jerseys anymore. But it would be for a good story more than anything. And I hope that if we do sign him, that he really comes into his own and he shows out. But yeah, there are definitely going to be some more moves. There are going to be some more receivers that we see. Maybe we trade for somebody. I saw that the Broncos are looking to trade one of their receivers. I don't know if I like that. We've traded for a Broncos receiver in the past, and it didn't work out. Brad Holmes trading for receivers last year, Donovan Peoples-Jones, didn't work out. So go pick up a receiver. Let's see how that works out. Don't give up any draft capital unless there's someone who we know is proven in the league and is going to come over here and shine for us. But yeah, go out and pick somebody up. That's my suggestion. I'm not in the front office, but if I were, I would suggest just go and pick somebody up. We got an open roster spot. Let's make it happen, and make it happen sooner than later, because we are about a week and a half out from our first game. I'm going to head over here to the comments, though. Mark Baylor, didn't they pass on the St. Brown brother during free agency? They did, and he wanted to come to Detroit, but maybe they can give him a second look now. They probably don't want him. If they already passed on him once, they probably don't want him again. I don't know the reasoning. I don't know if they worked him out. I don't think they worked him out. So maybe now's the time. They were trying to stay in-house. They wanted Fountain to work out. They wanted Donovan Peoples-Jones to work out. They wanted Caden Davis. Anybody. They wanted him to step up. Dan Campbell was asking for it all training camp. Somebody step up at that receiver position outside of our top guys. And the only one who really did was Isaiah Williams. And, unfortunately, he's a shorter slot wide receiver, and we already kind of got that with Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown. But it's okay. We're going to work in packages for him. He's going to work in the offense just fine. But I do think that we definitely need to go out and get a big body wide receiver. And one of these guys that I listed could definitely fill that spot. Noah Brown from the Texans is gaining a lot of traction with the Lions fans. He's proven he's done some things in the past. So I wouldn't mind that. Allen Robinson, too, even though he is getting up there, give him a second chance in Detroit. Let him go play the Bears twice, who he used to play for, and put up some dominant performances during those games. But Hodgins, I know that a lot of the beat writers liked him. A lot of the staff liked him when they were going up against him, so I could really see us going after him. We might be already on the phone with some of these guys, working out some contracts, and as it was stated earlier, I bet you Brad is on the phone, just like you said that earlier. But here we go. Mark Baylor already said that. Sorry, Mark. But you did say they passed on St. Brown brother during free agency. But Josh Jackson, I see wide receiver Allen Robinson got released. If it's accurate info, it is. He got released. Him and Isaiah Hodgins from the Giants both got dropped, and they're both capable of filling that role for us 100%. Josh Jackson also said he can definitely play on the outside of, yes, 100%. And he's a good run blocker. I think that's going to be a key factor for somebody coming over here. They definitely want the receivers to go out there, get physical, block. You can't just be a diva wide receiver going out there running your routes, letting guys go past you. They're looking for a certain style. And I would agree that Allen Robinson is a good blocking wide receiver. And also, you know, they say that the St. Brown brother is too. He's big. But that's going to be a very big factor in who they bring in. And yeah, there you go, Josh Jackson. And he's good at run block as well. So that might be the most logical answer. I know Dave Burkett really thinks that that's going to happen more than anybody. So we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully they get something done right now while we're doing this live. And if they do, please inform me if you got your phone up. I'm actually going to take a look over right now. But who would you want to bring in at wide receiver out of anybody that I just named? I said Allen Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, the St. Brown brother, EQ St. Brown. I'm going to have to learn that if he gets on the team. Terrace Marshall or Noah Brown? Or do you think that we go and we trade for somebody? Or do we pick up somebody different? Because there are probably a lot more wide receivers out there than I just listed. But it'll be interesting to see how we move forward. Hatter's House says, I like Robinson. I like him too. Like I said, he was getting up there, but I think that he could really have a resurgence in his career over here in Detroit, put him up against some familiar foes, especially his old team, and he's going to want to ball out. I was kind of shocked that he got cut from the Giants. I know that they got the nice rookie over there, but, you know, cutting Allen Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins, we should go and pick up one of those two is how I am feeling. Hatter's House says, but I really like Isaiah Williams. Yeah. I mean, he's on the team. So that is great news right there. Let's go through all the cuts because I don't think I listed off everybody who got cut. But Mitchell Agude, Maurice Alexander, Abram Beauplan, Mateo Betts, Jack Burton, Jalen Calhoun, Duke Clemens, Scott Daly, Caden Davis, Kingsley these names are going to get me. Jake Fromm's gone, though. Jake Funk, Shelling Garnes, Stephen Gilmore, Brian Hudson, Jamar Jefferson, Zonovan Knight, James Mischel, Chris Smith, Isaac Ukwu, who surprised me, honestly. I thought Isaac would make the team. I hope that we bring him back to the practice squad. Rashad Wild Goose, Shane Zylstra. Now, who they released was Asang Basie, Javelin Gidry, Darius Fountain, Joel Igyabanwiwe. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. Jamarco Jones, Tom Kennedy, Sean McKeon, CJ Moore, Pat O'Connor, Kyle Piku, who was also a surprise to me, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Nate Sudfeld, and Ty Summers. So let's get back on the Nate Sudfeld thing a little bit. I don't want to talk about him too much. He's gone as of now, but they do see him coming back to the practice squad and still playing that QB2 role in practice while Hendon Hooker develops, and he would be the emergency QB3 for when he's ready to go. We'll bring him up. You can only bring up the emergency QB3 3 times, and they kind of did away with that role where you can keep an extra one on the roster. Now you have to have him as part of the 53-man roster. It can't be that little, 54-man, the little scapegoat thing that they do. But, yeah, they switched that up this year, so if you want 3 quarterbacks, you have to keep all 3 on the 53-man roster. So I think it was smart to keep Hendon Hooker because if we cut him, if we release him, he's getting picked up elsewhere. Nate Sudfeld, on the other hand, could, but he definitely could come back. I don't know. I was kind of shocked by it, though, that they cut him just because of what Dan Campbell was saying. Coming up to this week, he said Nate Sudfeld is in the lead of the QB2 competition just because of his experience. He knows more. He's been there. He's seen more. And then today they're like, okay, you're gone, buddy. But I do see them bringing him back. They also are supposedly wanting to bring back D lineman Pat O'Connor, linebacker Abram Beauplan, and it says Nate Sudfeld. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, Christian Mahogany, we drafted him this year, and he's just been nowhere to be found. I'm glad that they kept him as a rookie. He did show a lot of aggression in college, but he just hasn't had enough practice. So, yeah, put him on the non-football injury reserve list for now. Let him get healthy. He was sick a lot this offseason, so good on keeping him there. Let the rookies try and develop, see what you got there. And if they can't do it next year, then they're gone, I guess. But, yeah, we got some more comments over here. Josh Jackson, trading for wide receiver is very real possibility. Because of money, I don't see Brad trading for anyone with big contract unless it's there in their last year. If I know Brad, he want to recoup that cap. Yeah. I agree 100%. I don't think that we're going to go and make any big time trade. If we do, it might be for that Broncos wide receiver. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's been injured the last 2 years. He does have upside, but he's had some bad injuries the last 2 years. So I think if we wanted to go get him, we could get him for little to nothing. Give him a 5th round compensation pick, or something, but maybe a 7th round because he hasn't even played really that much the last 2 years. But what's up, Rick Grit? Good to see you in here, man. But yeah, we've been talking the cuts. What's your most shocking cut that you've seen from the Lions today? To me, I would have to say Betts, Zylstra, and I'm just surprised they dropped as many wide receivers as they did, but they obviously have a plan. We have 4 solid wide receivers right now, 3 of them a little shorter, but Amon-Ra's a beast. Khalif Raymond goes out there and does his thing. Isaiah Williams, the kid can break it big anytime at any point. And then, of course, we got J-Mo. And I think Jameson Williams is set to have a huge year this year. The way that he's just flashed in training camp, what he's done all offseason, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. I don't know if he can get any faster. That would be crazy. But Jameson Williams is ready to explode this year. And I saw something earlier where somebody said the Lions' offense ceiling will depend on Jameson Williams' production this year. And they were asking, can he handle it? I definitely think he can. The kid wants the spotlight. He wants to be one of the best receivers in the league. And I think he's going to come out here and prove that he is a top-tier wide receiver this year. Top 20? I don't know. We'll see. That's a big stretch from where he's been, but the kid can definitely go out there and play, and he's proven this offseason that he's ready to go out there and prove himself. Rick says, weather is nasty in Geneseo, Colorado. Genesee, Colorado. What's it like there, Rick? What's it like there? Raining? Thunderstorms? I'm out here in the sunshine right now, and it feels nice. Hatter's House says Patrick wide receiver. Okay. Rick. Yeah, Patrick wide receiver. I believe is the guy from Denver. Is who you're talking about? Is that what we're correcting here right now? Thank you, if that's what you're doing. I'm just blanking on his name. Rick says Ukwu and Pico. Yeah, I was definitely shocked by them. I thought that Ukwu showed so much promise. He was getting to the quarterback. He was setting the edge. He was making tackles in the backfield. I really thought that we were going to keep him, and I hope that he makes his way to our practice squad and eventually ends up playing a key, maybe not a key role, but gets a few sacks this year for us. Gets his playing time, not because of injuries, but because he's earned it. I would like to see that. It's a good story. The kid is good. And then Pico, I did not see that coming. I definitely thought he was making the team. There's a few of them that I definitely thought was making the team, but when I saw he wasn't on there, I was like, oh, wow. Decided to move on, but maybe he's a practice squad guy as well. We'll see who passes the waivers and makes their way. It's going to be interesting this week. Like I said, we only have a little over a week and a half until our first game on Sunday Night Football against the Rams. I don't know if we go in there with 4 wide receivers. Do we bring in another wide receiver who's going to even make a difference in game 1? Well, who cares, because we're going to need him the rest of the season. So go out there and get somebody and do it soon. I expect us to hear some news this week, hopefully latest next week. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on. Hatter's House says yes. Patrick from Denver. Yep. And when they said they were looking for a trade, I don't know exactly what they're looking for, but like I said, they can't expect too much from a guy who's been injured with some serious injuries the last few years. But I mean, he does show some upside. His college career was good. He's had some flashes in the NFL. Wouldn't mind trading for him if it's going to be something very little, like compensatory pick, 7th round pick, something that doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, as of now, the 53-man roster is at 52 players. And if anything has happened, please inform me. I'm going to check here one more time. But yeah, I like where our roster is right now. I think we can definitely go into week 1, take down the Rams. I feel a lot more comfortable with Hendon Hooker at QB2, even though they are planning on bringing Sudfeld back to work into that QB2 at practice until Hendon Hooker is fully ready, or when they feel he's fully ready. I thought he was already more ready than Sudfeld, but then we saw him go out there and kind of, he didn't play as well against Pittsburgh's first team that they had this Saturday. Once they came out, he started doing a lot better. He likes to scramble, but that's a good trait of his, to get out of pressure and go for 20 yards, almost getting a touchdown. So I like Hooker there. I'm glad that they kept Craig around for now, Craig Reynolds. They do have him listed as the RB3. But I do see Sione Vaki beating him out. Vaki had a great preseason. I don't think he played in the last game. Not that I saw, at least. They didn't need to. They already saw enough from him. The kid's going to be good. And I think he's going to be a great special teams player. But I do see him working his way into some playing time on the offense. They do like Craig, though. Craig can lay those blocks, but I think Sione Vaki can as well. I said this earlier. Keeping Parker Hesse, that's more of a fullback move. I don't know if you saw his block that he had in Pittsburgh, but, I mean, the guy was in the backfield, and he lit him up. Otherwise, our guy was getting lit up. So that made, I think, a huge case to the coaching staff. They're like, okay, we got to keep this guy. I think that bumped Zylstra out. I don't think James Mitchell had a strong enough training camp, preseason, any of that to ever make the team, which, is unfortunate. He's a story. He's been ill. He's had injuries. He's come back from them all. We drafted him to be a good guy on our team, but, of course, when you go and you get Sam Laporta the next year, then sorry, buddy, but you're out. So, James Mitchell, sorry for your luck. Maybe he makes his way back to the practice squad, but I see Zylstra over him if they're going to take one or the other. Offensive line looking strong. Defense, I'm liking where we're at. Josh Paschal, Marcus Davenport, Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston. Now, John Kaminsky, like I said earlier, he's probably going to go on the IR just so he can play later in the season. But we do have some good news on people returning. We have Gibbs, Laporta, Zeitler, DJ Reader, Terry and Arnold, and it's Rakestraw. We have them all. A lot of them are coming back. So that's great news going into our first game. Everybody's coming back healthy. They're going to be ready to go game 1. DJ Reader is kind of a question. They expect him maybe to be coming back game 2. But he passed his physical. He's going to start practicing. He started practicing. We'll see, but it should be week 2 latest. Maybe he'll get in there week 1. I would like to see him in there week 1, but if he's not, that's okay. He'll be ready to go week 2. Hatter's House, or Rick, sorry. Hatter's House, let me know about Patrick. Rick says the O-line was awful, not all on Hooker. I agree. So he was getting sacked. He was on his back a lot. They were terrible. The offensive line was letting everybody get through. It's hard for any quarterback to do that, like do well in that situation. So I do see if there is a situation where Hendon Hooker would have to come in for an unfortunate reason, then he would do much better behind our starting offensive line. He does need to work a little bit more on his reads, but he showed some nice passes there. One over the middle where he took a shot, but he stayed in there, and it was a nice bullet pass caught for a nice first down. So he did show flashes, and like you said, Rick, we do have to remember who was protecting him that game because it was not good. He didn't look good because the line was god-awful, but once the line could actually block who was in there, you saw a little bit more of what he could do. I agree with you that he could do a lot better with a first-team line. Josh Jackson replying to Hatter's House saying, I think they could easily get a deal done between Campbell and Peyton if they want to. Who knows? You never know. Those guys definitely have a past. They're friends. Dan Campbell learned from him. He's his mentor. I could definitely see Sean Payton giving him a friendly deal. I don't know. Sean Payton is cutthroat. We all know that. Dan Campbell don't care either, but they are friends. So that is a good point that you made there. Do you guys have any questions for me? Right now, we're looking like this episode is coming to an end, but we have the Rams coming up in a week and a half, and we'll talk more of that next week. But yeah, let me know any of the questions you got in here. We went over the cuts today. Some big-time cuts. We still got one spot to fill, and I think that's for receiver. I did list Allen Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, EQ St. Brown, I can't say his first name, Terrace Marshall, and Noah Brown. All big-body wide receivers. Allen Robinson at 6'3", 209. Isaiah Hodgins at 6'4", 201. EQ St. Brown at 6'5", 214. Terrace Marshall, 6'2", 201. Noah Brown, 6'2", 225. So all could fill that X spot. A few of the guys in here liked Allen Robinson. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we do moving forward. But if there's no more questions for me, I'm going to keep this nice, short, and sweet today. We'll get into the longer ones as the season goes. I might do a little pop-up, little sesh here once we sign the wide receiver just to talk about it, talk with you guys and gals. I have more to talk about, but I do have to go and do some PA announcing today over at the Folsom Lake College, which is the local college near me. So I'm going to get out of here a little bit early. Let your questions be known right now if you want them. Otherwise, I'm going to get out. And I don't see any more questions. So, here we go. Lions by a million. Hatter's House, let's go. Let's do it. We got the Rams as our next game. We can make our week 1 predictions right now. I got us winning Sunday Night Football 31-27. 31-27, baby. Hatter's House got them Lions by a million. If you want to get your quick score predictions for week 1 in, we'll do it right now. We'll do it again next week. But I got Lions winning 31-27, taking down Stafford once again. But all right, y'all. It's been a good episode with you guys, you gals. Come back next week. I am here every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Until next week, have a great week, everybody.